Cowboy Up America. Dave Adams here, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Kind of hot and humid today, but waking up this morning celebrating America's 250th anniversary. Coming up, short order, coming up in just a few days. Are you proud to be an American? I am. Every chance I get, I wear this cowboy hat. Time to cowboy up America. I want to talk about a couple things this morning. I want to talk about the Federal Department of Education and Donald Trump. Aisha Hosni on Fox News did an interview with Linda McMahon, who is the Secretary of the Department of Education. And there are, I think, about 15 Democrats that have filed articles of impeachment against her because she is daring to dismantle the Federal Department of Education. You can't do that. That was created by Congress. That's a treasonous act against the American people. Allowing the Department of Education to continue would be a treasonous act against the American people. What Donald Trump wants to do is return the control of the education of our kids back to the state level. I think the best politics happen more towards the local level because the local citizens have an input. The Federal Department of Education and public schools around America, not all, but many, have become indoctrination mills teaching kids how to hate America. I support the efforts to do away with the Federal Department of Education. Case in point, FAFSA, that's the Aid to Students to Learn. They saved $200 million in 2 months because they did one thing. They required people to show ID when they signed up for federal student aid. And by doing that, they culled out $200 million in fraud. You have to ask yourself, how much fraud is going on in the federal government? It's massive. If DOGE taught us one thing, it's that we need to get a handle on fraud in the federal government. Dare I say, if we could do away with all the fraud in the federal government, we would probably balance the federal budget. Do away with the Federal Department of Education, have local states determine how we educate our kids, and more importantly than that, have the money follow the kids. If the parents want to put their kids in private school, have them take the allotment of public funding for education for their child and put it where they want. It's America, right? We can decide how we want to educate our kids, and we should be able to decide where we want to educate our kids without the federal government shoving it down our throats. Now, normally I wear a red, white, and blue shirt. I am wearing my American cowboy hat. Rick Steber, how you doing? Glad to see you today. Crook County Commissioner, candidate, general election. We're continuing to ask the state of Oregon to pass a new law allowing people to wear a cowboy hat in the voters' pamphlet, showing more of an insight into the character of the candidate underneath that cowboy hat. What's wrong with that? Anyway, let's get back to the shirt. Normally it's red, white, and blue, but if I can back up just a little bit or even just tilt this down a little bit without dropping it. Okay. This is strategy. Ideas, strategy, gears working together. If we want to save America, if we want to return patriotic, dare I say the word America first values, what is America first? You know, we're spending a lot of time defining things, men, women, patriotism. There are people saying that they are patriotic about America, but aren't proud to be an American. That's confusing to me. How can you be patriotic about America, but aren't proud to be an American? Or are you just playing word games with various surveys as they come through and you want to sell the point that you're patriotic, but don't love America? In my view, you know, the cowboy logic here, where yes is yes, no is no, men are men, women are women, loving America is loving America, patriotic is loving America. If you're patriotic, you should love America. So quit playing word games with these surveys. So back to the strategy. We, as conservative, patriotic Americans, need to make the gears turn, and we need to work together. Notice there's more than one gear here, representing more than one group. It's going to take all of us as patriotic Americans working together. Podcasters, various groups, various candidates. We've got to get to the point where we say, you know what? We're going to work together, because it's going to take all of us to save America. It's going to take all of us working together. So let's find ways that we can work together as long as we agree on certain values. That is, men are men, women are women, less government, more money into the taxpayers' pockets, teaching kids the positive values of America. So you hate America. How come so many foreign athletes are coming here and they're just loving it? They want to stay. They love America. They've seen what it's like overseas, and they've come here and, man, they just can't get enough of America. Ranch salad dressing and all. They love it. Why shouldn't you? Because they've been overseas. They see what it's like. They love it here. Conservative, red-blooded, Constitution, Bible-loving, God-fearing Americans who kneel for God and stand for the flag. That's what's going to take to save America. Let's talk about Donald Trump. There's a criticism out there that I and others are just kissing the ring of the king, that we're kissing the ring of Donald Trump. You got it all wrong. Donald Trump doesn't say some things sometimes I don't agree with. I don't agree with his personal attacks. But hear this, and I'll talk slowly so progressive Democrats can understand. It's not that I'm worshiping Donald Trump. It's not that he's hypnotized me with his little gold watch. It's that he's standing for values that I believe in, that I hold dear. Doing away with the Department of Education, bring it on. Closed borders, bring it on. Less taxes, bring it on. Empowering businesses to be more profitable so they can put more people to work, bring it on. So, again, I need to talk slowly for our progressive Democrat friends. It's not that Donald Trump has hypnotized me. It's that he agrees with the values that I hold dear. Let me say that again. It's not that Donald Trump has mesmerized me by his charisma. I'm going to follow Donald Trump wherever he goes. They think we're crazy. They think we're that crazy. I'm a Trumpster. To them, that's what we look like. But in reality, it's not that I kiss the ring of Trump. It's that he supports policies that I hold dear. I said it 3 times already. You haven't got the point yet? Well, hang on. Hang on, because you're going to get that point. Why? Because as we have midterms, as we have elections, as we have various things happen across America, I think you're going to see Main Street Americans don't like the Democratic Socialist Party. We're not sold out to the DSA. We're not going to just say, oh, things are such a wreck, we'll just throw it in all the trash bin. Let's start over with socialist democracy. That's a contradiction in terms. Socialism, communism, is where the government has control over your life, everything about your life, everything. No personal freedoms, that the government knows better than you, and they will have an iron fist. Look at Venezuela, look at Russia, look at China, look at North Korea. Do those people have freedoms? Now just pause for a moment. Take a look at news coverage. Take a look at what people who have lived there. And we do have a website, one of many, that keeps us busy. AmericanConversation.us. AmericanConversation.us. Now we're still putting the website together right now. There's actually 2 websites tied together. A-N, and AmericanConversation.us. And AmericanConversation.us. We stuck an "and" in there in case people get confused. So as we put this website together, we want to have videos on there, and we want to have discussion pieces about what America is, how we define America, to have a conversation. That's one of the things that we've lost in society today, is the ability to have this conversation, the ability to dialogue, the ability to have these kind of gears work together. Because in a transmission, in a car, in America, it's got to work together. These gears have got to mesh together. So if you're a conservative group and you say, well, we're just going to fix it by ourselves, and we're not going to work with them because I don't mention the names, I don't like that person, so I'm not going to work with them. We're going to do it on our own. How's that working for you? It's not going to work. So we've got to learn to work together. We've got to learn to work together. Look at this. Strategy. We got to have a strategy. Ideas. We got to have good ideas. Solutions. Teamwork. You've heard the term, teamwork makes the dream work. The idea of an army of one saving America isn't going to work. We've got to work together. Conservative Americans, we've got to find ways to strategize and make these gears come together and work. We all love freedom, right? But we've got to come to a point where our definitions of basic terms are more in alignment. When you have a candidate for the Supreme Court say you can't define what a woman is, and you are guiding the interpretation of laws for America, and you can't define what a woman is, you think I'm crazy. You're nuts. John Kennedy, Louisiana senator, bless his heart, he's got it right. The Republicans aren't perfect, but the progressive Democrats, crazy. And the more I listen to them, the stupider I get. Good old boy from Louisiana just calls it like he sees it. So we've got to get to the point where conservative Americans, we get the gears turning, and we find ways we can work together, and we find ways that these gears can mesh together, and we can move this engine forward called America. We got to come to a point where we have more aligned definitions about patriotism. So you have surveys out there. I don't like America, but I'm patriotic. Huh? I don't understand that. The Republicans who answered that survey, was it 85% of them, I think? I love America and I'm patriotic. They connected, the common sense there. So, what are we talking about today? Do away with the Department of Education. Have education controlled more by the state level. Have vouchers where the money follows the student and the parents decide where to teach the kids. This is America, right? We should have the freedom to be able to decide that. It's not that I love and worship the ground Donald Trump walks on. It's that he is pushing ideas that I have been waiting for generations for politicians to support. Trump's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't like his personal attacks. So I get it. I understand that. But if you say that you hate Donald Trump and everything he's done or said, I'm just going to throw away because he touched it. That's when you and I part company. Because he's got some great ideas. Do away with the Department of Education. Close the borders. Okay. The Obama Presidential Library, you know, to get in, you have to show ID. But to go to a voting booth, hey, you show ID. You even ask if I'm an American citizen in California. That's a crime. So you have to show an ID to get into the Obama Presidential Library. But it's a crime to ask ID to decide who's going to be the leaders of our country. It's crazy. It's insane. Progressive Democrats, you think I'm nuts. You're the party of crazy. We don't worship Donald Trump, but he supports ideas and he pushes ideas. Take men out of women's sports. Great idea. Say it again. It's not that I worship Donald Trump. It's I support the ideas, and he more closely aligns with the ideas I, as a conservative American, have than you, the party of crazy. You want to torch, you want to take a big lighter to the U.S. Constitution and burn it up. You want to have wide open borders. You want to have guaranteed personal income. What else do you want? You want everybody to be on Social Security. You want free everything to everybody. How do we do that? We raise taxes. I love the fact that Gavin Newsom said just the other day, yesterday, I believe, that if you have this emergency tax on billionaires, it's going to chase people out of the state. Finally, he's getting it. He's coming out against that. I never thought I would say that, hear the day or see the day when I would agree with something Gavin Newsom uttered. Yeah, it's going to chase people out of the state. He's not an idiot. He's misled. His politics are screwed up. But the light's finally coming on. Why? Because he's looking at what's going on in the state. He's seeing people leave the state. He's saying if you just continue to tax the rich will take their jobs, their money, their Escalades and whatever, and they'll leave. And they'll go to Tennessee. Come on down, y'all. Go to Florida. Go to Texas. Go to states of, shall we call, free America. We're streaming. We're proud to stream from free America in the state of Tennessee. And we're streaming out to the world. We're streaming out to states that are in occupied America. I say that tongue in cheek. That have people in charge that are doing, shall I say, unpatriotic, unconstitutional things in America, where they're taxing you to death. And they think the answer to everything is just throw more taxes at it. Oh, well, there's graft, fraud, and corruption. It's just the price of doing business, right? That's white supremacy, if you even ask where it's fraud. What are you, part of the mafia? Are you getting rich with this fraud? Don't you realize that if we got ahead of this fraud, if we stopped the fraud, we could have more money to feed these small boys and girls and elderly people who need assistance? Hello, McFly? Doesn't that make sense? If we stop the fraud, we could take the money that the fraudsters are getting and buying this lavish jewelry, and you've seen the news reports. Expensive vacations, lavish jewelry, fancy cars. That money has been robbed from not the federal government, but from you, the taxpayer. And your tax rates are going up. Your tax rates are going up. Your tax that you're paying is going up. And we don't have enough money to pay everything because we are paying the crooks. It's a crime tax on America. We'll call it what it is. It's a crime tax. So let's do away with the crime tax. Let's get rid of fraud. So we have more money to help people. Democrats, progressives, you want to help people, right? So why are you saying it is supremacist, that it is Trumpian of me to want to do away with fraud? So are you saying that it's okay to steal from the taxpayers? Is that what you're saying? I would love to have a conversation with them. Are you saying, answer this question, are you saying it is okay to steal from the taxpayers and it's just a cost of doing business? Why are you saying that I'm a Trumpian and I'm a white supremacist because I want to get ahead of fraud? Realizing that if we take away from the fraudsters, from the crime tax, and pay it to people who need it, that more people will get help. To just continue to shovel money into this furnace and burn it up in a crime tax with all this fraud and graft and corruption. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, that ticks me off. So you wonder why I support Donald Trump? It's because you progressive lefts are want to burn the Constitution, want to say socialism and communism works. No, every place I've looked, it has failed miserably. I've heard the stories. I've talked to people who've lived there. They say, you don't want to go there because once you go there, it is hell to get out. That's why we came to America. I don't worship Trump, but he supports the ideas that are important to me. If you don't, if you're a progressive Democrat, listen to this, and you don't remember anything else I say today, remember this. It's not that I worship Donald Trump's, the ground he walks on, or kiss his ring, or I mesmerize. Oh, whatever Donald Trump says, I'll do it. Yeah, okay, okay, okay. No, that's not it at all. It's that he supports the policies that are dear to me, that I hold, that I want to see in government. Do I like his personal attacks? No. But I tell you what, his policies and what he does in government are a whole lot better than what Obama did and Biden. Obama, let's talk about Obamacare. Critics of Obamacare said that if you put Obamacare in place, you would lose your doctors, you would lose your insurance policies, and premiums and healthcare would go sky high in America. What happened? They say, oh, don't worry about that. That's not going to happen. What happened? You lost your policies, you lost your doctors. Premiums are so expensive, people are going without health insurance because you go into a doctor's office and they have a two-tiered way of paying. Because so many people don't have health insurance, they have to have a lower amount, and that's not right. So the doctor's office charges more if you have insurance and less if you don't have insurance. So you're basically doing away with the insurance industry. No, it just doesn't make sense, folks. Understand, I don't agree with everything Donald Trump says. I don't like the personal attacks. But he pushes policies that I support. One sentence there. If you're a progressive Democrat, you forget everything else I've said. Remember this. It's not that I worship Trump, and you need to get this through your thick head. It's not that I worship Trump, but he supports the policies that are important to me. And that's why conservative American policies, I believe, will continue to win in elections. Because as we see this disparity growing between the progressive Bolshevik left in the Democrat Party and freedom-loving, Constitution-loving, card-carrying, firework shooting 4th of July patriots in America, Americans, in our DNA, we love freedom. We know deep down inside that the American way of life, however imperfect it is a whole lot better than everything else going on out there. The American government, the political representative democracy system in America, the constitutional-based framework of laws based on individual liberties and freedoms set in granite in the Constitution. That's what I support. And when you have Mandami, you call us election deniers? When you have Mandami saying, I'm not going to do what the Supreme Court told me to do. I'm just not going to do what they did. I'm just not going to do it. I'm Zoran Mandami. I am the mayor of America's largest city, and I'm not going to support the Supreme Court. I'm not going to do what they say. You think Donald Trump has created a constitutional crisis? That, my friends, is a constitutional crisis. When you have a leader, your ideological, the person you're kissing the ring of, saying he's not going to follow the decision of the Supreme Court, that's when you have it going off the rails. And I don't think it will, because I think most freedom-loving Americans who believe in the rule of law, the rights and liberties of freedom, who have sent many of our brave men and women to die, to bleed out on foreign soil in support of freedom and democracy. The American representative democracy system based on the Constitution is not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than anything else out there. And you come to me and tell me that I'm wrong, and I've got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a brain, and I'm going to look at what's going on, and I'm going to say, you're bat crap crazy. No, and I won't buy it. And most of the people who go to the voting booths, even though you spend millions of dollars to try to convince them Donald Trump is evil and Satan personified and Heimlich Himmler and Adolf Hitler all rolled into one, I'm not going to buy it. The guy who took a bullet for America, I know you say that was staged, that espouses the policies that I hold dear. How many times have I got to say that? That's why I support Trump. I wouldn't want him as my pastor. Yeah, I'd like to have dinner with him. I'd like to talk to him. It's not that I worship Trump. It's that I support the policies that he is pushing. If you don't remember anything else I said, remember that. That's why we support Trump. That's why we support the conservative American cause. Republicans, we need to be the Republican Party. We need to be a party of the people. We need to be a party of common sense. And we need to allow Georgia GOP, hear me. You've got a lot of people you've disenfranchised who are grassroots, card-carrying, Constitution-loving Americans, and you need to listen to them. I'm referring to the Dalton, Georgia Convention last year where you turned off the microphones. Yeah, we're going to keep bringing that up because that has ticked, I have to be careful of the language I use, that has ticked a lot of your faithful, conservative, freedom-loving Americans in Georgia off. Stop it. You need to listen to your grassroots. Or maybe we'll throw you out. This is America, right? We can elect our own leaders to the Georgia GOP, and we should. So we support the efforts of those in Georgia that want to return the Georgia GOP to a point where grassroots conservative Americans feel like have their say in the operation of the party. The good old network has to go away. The elitists running the Georgia GOP have to give up the reins of control and let the people, we the people, have a choice in how that party is run. Time for a house cleaning in America. What do I say by that? Let's go to the polls and let's vote in people of character, not through people who are character. Yeah, there's a lot of work to do in America. Get back to the strategy session here. Take a picture of it. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take all of us working together. So, cowboy up, America. Let's ride. I'm Dave Adams. This is Street Level America, and that's what I think.